Hey everyone, welcome back. And today we're going to be talking about the most important step, I would say, the prompt step, which is actually how you get your AI to generate output that can either be funneled into the next step or funneled to your user and streamed to them live as it's generated. So what we have here is the prompt step selected. So this is the most simple agent you can build, which is literally the start step, which we covered earlier, and then the prompt step. And all we need to do is connect them. So click and drag down to the connection point, and there we go. We've got the start step that then triggers the prompt step. In the actual prompt step, we can see in the sidebar that we've got a couple different things. Maybe we can actually go from top to bottom again. So we've got the title of it, and we can just call this the respond to user step. Include messages. You can turn this off if you're doing a prompt chain and you don't want to send all the messages to the actual AI. For this simple example, we're going to leave it on. Then we have the provider configuration. So here you can select your AI provider, and you can even select the different model and fine tune top P or temperature, etc. We generally just leave it on the default settings, but you can select any model you want that's offered by them. And then obviously the most important part, the prompt. This cannot be understated how important your prompt is in the actual AI agent you create. It'll take a lot of time to get your prompt exactly right, but this is just a very basic example of a prompt with a variable inside of it. There is also a prompt builder here. If you're really struggling to think about the prompt that will best serve your users, you can use this interface to help you generate the actual prompt. So you can do something like, I need a prompt for a zookeeping app, because every zookeeper needs an app, right? You can do a back and forth, and then you can actually get your response. So it's for the zookeepers. So very basic instruction right there. Yeah, that's really nice. But I'm going to actually just keep what we have here because this is a really simple example. Great. So we covered the prompt. We covered the prompt builder. Now let's look at the input section because I know this can be confusing. We have this really simple flow from top to bottom, but we want to be able in our prompt to greet our user with their name before they even tell us. So this means that we want a variable. So in the actual prompt here, we have greet them with their name. So we need a way to go from our application and send the username from our application into Easybeam. So what we do here is that we create a variable in the agent called username that we can then inject to this variable in the prompt that's called username. So this can be a little bit confusing, but we are assigning the agent level variable username to the prompt level variable username. And that's what you do in this input section here. There's a lot of different types you can assign here. So we just went to the variables and assigned username, right? So that's connecting the data that will come from outside into this prompt. But if we wanted this to just always be filled in with the same text, we could just select static text, and then it does Bob, or Bobo, as I read briefly. And then we can also do things like select the output of a previous step. So this is how you can start to get into things like prompt chaining, right? So if we're creating a new prompt here, we can, in our final prompt, we could even inject in the output of the previous prompt. So obviously that doesn't make sense in this case, but we make it really easy to do that for the scenarios that it does make sense. Okay, great. So we've now connected the variable to the agent variable of username. So now the username gets injected into this prompt here. So now we can take a look at the preview. Great. So let's do something like Rupert for the username. And now we can see how the AI is going to greet the user with the name injected into the prompt there. So this is previewing all the different steps we can take. Since we've got this simple example, it just goes straight to the response, straight to this last respond to user step. Yeah, and exactly, it obeys exactly what we told it to do. give us a price calculation, and now we can start to get a feel for how the AI is actually going to respond to the user. Additionally, we can optionally attach a photo to see how it handles photos. Currently, only OpenAI is supported this functionality. And we can also view the details of the step by clicking on the card here. So we can see there's no messages in the history, but we can get an overview of how many tokens it used, how much it costs, the duration, latency, et cetera, et cetera. Also in the sidebar, you can always just test this individual step. So you can see how this will perform without going through your whole agent. So this will actually be exactly the same, right? Because we didn't, because we only have an agent that has a single step, you're just going to see the same output. But you can imagine if you want to just isolate this, this prompt step and see its output, you can just do it directly instead of having to go through the whole agent. Additionally, there's also more information in the tile at the bottom in case you ever get confused or need more help. You can always open this up, and it links to our documentation agent and also gives you a helpful link to Intercom to contact us whenever you want.